We're on our third round right now. So if you still haven't received your notification yet, PM on the Facebook page or at the bottom of this broadcast, hey, I want to sign up, and we'll get you on that list. But they just ended the third round of the talk show today, I believe. That's right. Yes. All right. And here we go. And, oh, yeah, there we go. The Belivers. Once again, join the Belivers Facebook group. It's very, very important. You don't want to miss it. Now let's get to one of my favorite segments of the show is Tea Time with Steven, where, Steven's been a big advocate with BeLive.tv, helping people out in the Belivers group. So he's going to give us some streaming tips today. Let's bring up Tea Time with Steven. I'm going to call this segment Tea Time with Steven. Let's bring up Steven right now. Hey, Steven, how's it going?
It's going fine. Hello, Jeff, and hello, everyone from Wiltshire in England. And today I'm going to talk about engaging an audience, which is something that you've been doing for the last 10 minutes. And it's very important to do that. I mean, basically, when you're broadcasting, you've got to set the tone, haven't you, of the show?
Yes. Right.
Because if you set an upbeat tone, then everybody else's reaction to that is upbeat as well. If you set one, if you're don't broadcast in a bad mood, and don't broadcast when you're drunk, because those are not good ideas and won't do well for your reputation. So you've got to try and set the tone and get everybody on your side. And they're on your side because they're your friends. And that's how you start off broadcasting. You start off with friends and then friends of friends. Now it's your show and you've got a choice. You've got a choice to make when you start a show. Is this a broadcast where you're going to do all the talking, or is it a Facebook live experience, a Belive experience? It's something in which everybody can get involved, and you set the tone for that, because what you want to do is use Belive for conversations and turn viewers into participants, which is what you've been doing for the last 10 minutes or so. And you do that by watching the stream on the right-hand side when you're broadcasting and highlighting people's comments. Now, not only are you highlighting the comments, but you're actually talking to people, because you can react to those comments. And anybody who makes a comment will get their photo on the screen, they'll get their name on the screen. And not only is it in the live broadcast, it's also in the recording. Now, one of the things during the show, if you were on Periscope and somebody came on and clicked a heart, you'd say hello. If you're running a Belive show, I don't know what you think, Jeff, but saying hello every so often, every 5 minutes or so, is probably preferable. And if you say hello to groups of people rather than to every individual, then the show will go a lot more smoothly. If people ask questions, then answer them as best you can. If you don't know the answer, then you can find out the answer and reply later. You've got to keep the show going. Take a break every 10 minutes or so and just remind people why you're there. Remind them to share out the broadcast and keep the whole mood as upbeat as you can, obviously depending on the topic. Now, one of the things that I know that we both do is, after we've done a show, is to go back and not just watch the replay, but to change the post. Because two-thirds of the people who will view a Belive show will view it afterwards. And that's because they're not here when it goes out live. So everybody who is here live, thank you for joining us today and joining Jeff. But if they're not live, they're going to catch the replay. And if they're catching the replay, then you want to make sure that you edit the post to be in the past tense, so that this was Jeff on BeLive.tv, not this is going to be Jeff on BeLive TV. You turn it in the past tense. It's also the opportunity, if you edit the post afterwards, to thank everybody who took part. And also, at the end of each show, go through all the comments, like all the comments, but where you can make a comment, do. Because if you engage with your audience, then they will come back and watch another show. So that's it. In a nutshell, get out there, be proactive, and look after your audience, and they will come back and watch you. If you're going to do a broadcast, that's nothing wrong with that. But this is the Belive experience, and it should be engaging for everybody.
Now, can you hear me all right, Stephen?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Great. I had, here's the crazy thing. the cool thing about doing live shows is, I think we have, man, people are already calling in, which is great. I love it. We got Philip in here. We got Robert holding right now. I appreciate your patience, guys. But you know what? The cool thing about live streaming too, and here's a cool tip. It's like Daniel, he always private messaged me during the show and say, hey, can you change this up a little bit? I was having a little audio sync issue, I think. And I had to go back and refresh. I'm like, I was crossing my fingers. I was like, man, I hope when I pull back up, they're going to be able to hear me. And so I was a little concerned. I'm like, oh, geez, because I did a Belivers, meetup. I think it was like last week, and I had the same issue. Yeah. And the mic wouldn't pull back up, so I had to do all this refreshing and stuff. So, that's the beauty of live streaming. Things happen, and I think that's what gives me the high, Stephen, about live streaming so much, is because you never know what's going to happen. And nope. I absolutely love that high. I mean, because if you could be, rolling and doing stuff, but sometimes you're going to fall straight on your face. And I love watching that. It's not like I say I enjoy watching people fail, but I enjoy just watching like how people recover. It's an amazing thing.
The thing with live is there's never going to be a perfect show. You're going to make mistakes. The technology's pretty reliable, but occasionally it will go wrong. You're going to have to refresh and come back on. You've got to be prepared to do that. But the thing is to hold the thought and hold your audience, because everybody's on your side. There's nobody. This is the thing I love about Belive in particular, is the Belive community, and everybody roots for each other. Everybody watches each other's shows and cheers everybody on, and that's the community side of it. And this is the best way to network ever, and Belive are doing it as it should be done, despite what happened over the weekend on Facebook Live.
Exactly. The what happened more like this happened.
It did. It almost caught me, and I thought, much as you and I are friends and we get on, if I press that button during one of my shows, then
I
people
listen,
would wonder what was going on.
I didn't know, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I didn't know what the heck they were doing. And I kind of like put two and two together a little bit later. I think it was later in the evening, but I was like screwing around with it. I was doing some tests in my studio, and I said, have they been drinking the Jeff Adams Kool-Aid that much that they have to put this? And I was thinking, I go, maybe this is just for my broadcast. But then I started seeing people's comments saying, well, the whole Jeff Adams thing, I'm not too sure about. Gave me a lot of confidence. It was so funny. It was so funny. And then I feel like, oh, they got me, man. And they got the whole community. It was amazing.
Well, that's it. I mean, the thing is that both Daniel and Sophia are part of the community. Yeah. And everyday part of the community. And they're enjoying this ride as much as we are.
They absolutely are. I mean, but the thing is, Daniel warned me. He goes, what April Fool's joke should we play on the people on the Belivers? And I had some ideas, but they just went a whole different direction with it. And I wasn't in on the joke at all. I didn't know what to say. I was only saying, I'm not sure about this thing. I'm not too sure about it. This whole, oh, we're live. I don't know about that. Well, Stephen, we'll bring you back up in a few minutes. And thank you for those awesome tips.
Because the thing is that this is a fast-moving show, and the questions fly through. So to the people who are watching, ask the following question about talk show. You can start a talk show on your own. You can bring people on later, but you can start on your own. It's not the same as face-to-face where your guest has to be there.
Right.
So that's the answer to that question. I think you're quite right, Rachel, about preparing guests as well. Because we can't take it for granted that they know one end of a microphone from another. So preparing the guest is important. I mean, you either do it the day before, as Rachel suggested, you start 15 minutes early, because in that way you get used to them being, or they get used to being on camera. Because people are camera shy as well, aren't they?
They really are. And guys, I mean, I tell them the whole list. I'm like, make sure you have a fully charged and or better off plugged in device, that you are in an area with a strong Wi-Fi network. I advise them, I'm like, if you can use that little earbud microphone is fine. If they have one, usually people do. If they don't, well, we'll just use the device microphone. I remind them not to sit in front of an open window. Like I shut some of my windows around me earlier because that helps for the frontal lighting. And really, it is just a matter, show up on time. Because I tell you guys, the way tech works, if it can go wrong, it will. And thank goodness Belive gives us such an easy platform. I mean, you got a link in a person's Facebook profile they can get right on, but then there's all that other ancillary stuff they have to worry about, and you don't want to stress your guest out because they get all stressed and then they don't want to talk.
You want your guests to relax, and what I try to do is to relax them is to say, right, you give me the first 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that if they give you the first 3 questions, they should at least know the answers. So that when you actually start the show, you start with the first question, they know what the answer is, second question, and so on, and then you can lead on from there. But I want to come back to a video I enjoyed greatly a couple of weeks ago, was when you did that you must look at the camera. And that
why did you enjoy it, Stephen? Tell me why you liked it so much.
I missed the first 30 seconds. No, it made the point well that I could look at yourself and Ross, and to me that looks perfectly natural. But if I look at the camera, then I'm looking at everybody who's watching us, and that's a skill that is hard learnt, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just in case anybody didn't see that video, and I wasn't, I don't know, I would say it was PG rated because I had dark top on, right? Oh my God, drop the mic. That was awesome. But basically I started out a video and I had my camera at a down angle. So let's just say it was from chin down instead of chin up. And I did that for about the first 25, 30 seconds, and then I angled it back up. And the whole point was, guys, there's a camera, a little dot I'm looking at right now. And just like Steven said, I know my peripheral vision really wants me to look down at my screen, but my camera is where you guys all live. And I'm pretending you're all in that little tiny dot. And that's where we have to look. And that's hard. That's hard to come by. It's a hard reminder for everybody. And we have to try to remember.
It is. If we go back, if we mention the platform that was around 2 years ago, Blab, that was something we didn't even think about.
Right.
We were on there chatting to friends, and now we're on Facebook Live, and we do have to take things a bit more seriously. And the question that just came in about the talk show is that you can have 3 people on screen and 10 people in the green room. So if you want to join the show tonight, all you need to do is click the link that Jeff has posted and you can come on screen, because Jeff can look at the 10 guests and decide who wants to be on screen. The other important thing is he's not on screen, but it's his show. I think that makes it, well, the point about that is, it's a major one, is that you can produce a show for somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If they
we're live.
We are live. If you want to, if one of your friends has a business page they want to broadcast on, but they're not too happy about producing the show, then they just need to give you editor rights to the page. Yep. You can produce the show and they can be on it and their guests can be on it, and you don't need to appear on screen.
Yeah.
That opens up a whole new ballgame, doesn't it?
It does. And Ross, I want to ask you a quick question too, and this kind of is for all of us, but I know, for all of us who have been broadcasters, been trying to do more live streaming since the days of Blab, and we're really looking for a platform that was responsive. And I know you and I would talk offline quite a bit about, like, I wish how all these wish lists. Do you remember one thing you were like looking for and that you've seen Belive do that they've done because we asked for it, because we're broadcasters and they wanted to cater to us?
Well, I don't know whether it's because we asked for it or it was part of their vision from the beginning, but lower thirds, changing shots, the agenda feature, the ability to brand. I mean, there's so many things. This is the closest thing to using software that would cost you either hundreds of dollars or have a huge learning curve, even if it was free. Whereas this, you can get your guest on. Well, as you would say, good practice is 15 minutes early, but being that I mostly interview live streamers, I can literally bring somebody on 5 minutes before and we're good to go. Even with the other platforms that